Alrighty, good morning, gang. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's CJ Curry. If you do not subscribe to this channel, I will come find you and give you a hug and ask you why you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure that notifications are turned on. And while you're down there playing around with those buttons, hit that thumbs up button, that like. We're going to try and drive those likes up, as many likes as we can get on today's live stream. I appreciate everyone for all the continued support, all the new subscribers, everybody who likes these videos, who tunes in every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know the NBA season's winding down. Some of the people that were watching before aren't really watching anymore. Some of the people that were betting on NBA player props aren't really doing so anymore. Things are kind of starting to come to a slowdown, right, with the NBA, but that's okay. The dedicated, the hardcore, the devoted still continue to show up and support. So I appreciate you and you guys showing up and doing that. Todd Live for Sundays is in the building. Shout out to you, Mark H. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning, man. Game one was a good one. Not only did the Tampa Bay Lightning win and are up 1-0 against our in-state rivals, the Florida Panthers, but that taco yesterday also hit. So shout out to our fantastic goalie, Vasilevsky, for saving enough shots for that taco to end up working out. Taco Tuesday was, we'll call it a mixed bag. A mixed bag of results. Obviously, the day didn't start out great with that CSGO taco. Zaiwu, one of the top 5 players in all of the world when it comes to competitive CSGO, let us down at a discounted kill prop, unfortunately. So Zaiwu's, he's not on everybody's favorite list of people right now. Zaiwu's burned me before. So anyway, we moved on from Zaiwu. We had Jimmy Butler. That taco ended up working out. The PRA is what you guys voted on. Shout out to everybody who joined me yesterday in the PrizePicks official Discord. I hosted a Taco Tuesday unveiling, we'll call it, where I revealed who the Taco Tuesday players were going to be on yesterday's PrizePicks menu for Taco Tuesday. It was a pretty fun event, had a good turnout, you know, upward to 400 people at one point, 300 to 350 people. Very good turnout, so appreciate all the support there. You guys will probably see me doing that again. I think I'll make a return to the official PrizePicks Discord. If that's something that you'd like to see, let me know. I'd be happy to get back on there and talk some more NBA player props on another Tuesday. But yes, the Lightning did work. The Vasilevsky taco came through. I paired it with Huberdeau from the Florida Panthers. Shots on goal at 2.5. Anytime the guy plays at home, he is worth considering. And that ended up working out. So pretty decent day overall with the tacos. We had a really strong day once again with some MLB props in our official PrizePicks Patreon Discord. Lots and lots of pitching props hit yesterday. So shout out to the gang, everybody that continues to tail my picks. Couple nights ago, I hit, let's see, 2 10x, 5-pick 10x plays. So yesterday we had a lot of 4 out of 5s, but still 4 out of 5. I mean, we're knocking on the door every single day for a 10x payout. Every day. I'm not kidding. For the last few days, we've been like 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. So we're going to keep that momentum going. MLB has been very good to me. Like I said before, I've been spending less money, time, and energy on NBA playoff props and more on MLB props, and things have really been working out. I know I made some money for some folks last night, so we'll try to do that again. Run it back with some baseball. Nothing better than some afternoon baseball to keep us entertained throughout our work days. Adrian's in the building. He says, good morning. Shout out to you, Adrian. Thanks for being here. Drew Bree says, happy hump day, everyone. Let's get these dubs. You flex at me, I'll flex back at you, because I'm that kind of guy. Tony Ruiz says, good morning, CJ. Great night yesterday in Patreon with some NBA, NHL. Effin' Props Guy holding it down with the NHL props. Thank you so much to Effin' Props Guy. MLB, the gang, yeah, we're killing it. Smash the like button, peeps. This is better than Dogecoin. I like that. That's very interesting. I don't know if we're better than Dogecoin. Is anything really better than Dogecoin? Is anything quite better than Dogecoin? That's a really philosophical type of question. Does Doge rule the world? Maybe. Roy's in the building. He says Mavs plus 6.5 points. All right, that might be a move. It's not a move we can make on PrizePicks, but if you play somewhere else, I mean, maybe that's a move. Speaking of playing on PrizePicks, if you don't play on PrizePicks yet, 100% instant deposit match still going on. You see it floating above my head. I talk about PrizePicks every day. 100% instant deposit match awaits you. There's a link down in the description below. Get signed up and play on PrizePicks if you don't already. I stopped playing DraftKings and FanDuel a long time ago. PrizePicks is the only way I like to play. I've built my bankroll up now to over $2,000 over the last few months. I'm just going to keep running it up on PrizePicks. You know, I'm not putting out $100 entries or, $500 entries. I'm not a crazy player like that. I'm a slow and steady, pace yourself type of guy. I want to be able to make this sustainable and doable. I don't want to have to redeposit because I was an idiot and went ahead and put $500 on a 5-pick flex. That's not my style, not my game. I'm a dink and dunk grinder type of player on PrizePicks. That's just the way I roll. I'm okay with throwing in 10, hitting a 5 out of 5 flex and getting $100 back. What about you? I mean, anytime I get a $100 bill placed in my hand, I'm cool with that. I'm not here trying to be greedy. I'm not going to get rich playing on PrizePicks, but I'm grinding up, rolling up a nice little bankroll. So we're going to keep that bankroll going. So if you don't play on PrizePicks yet, promo code Curry, instant deposit match up to $100. Take advantage of that deal. Ronald's Green's in the building. He says, what's up? He's Mr. Solid, man. Ronald's Green always coming through with the solid what's up. Not Mig says he cashed out on his Deadman and Jimmy Taco last night. Blessed. Let's make some more money today, CJ. Stay blessed. You as well, my friend. Glad to hear you had a good night. Moody Clip says the Jimmy Taco was cash. It absolutely was. Some folks were debating the assists. Some folks were debating the PRA in yesterday's live Taco Tuesday event over in the PrizePicks Discord. Listen, I made a statement saying they're probably both going to hit. And sure enough, they probably both did hit, right? Jimmy's assist would have been 3.5. His PRA ended up being discounted to 30.5. Both tacos ended up hitting. There was no wrong answers yesterday when it came to Jimmy Butler. He had himself a fantastic game. I think all the tacos for Jimmy Butler would have hit yesterday, the way that he played against Boston. I was a little worried about Boston, especially once we got the news that Al Horford and Marcus Smart were ruled out. I knew Boston was going to be in trouble, but look, they came down to Miami. Quick turnaround coming off of that 7-game series against the Milwaukee Bucks. Flew down to Miami, and they made it a competitive game. They did make it a competitive game. It looked like it was going to be a blowout at one point. So shout out to Boston for digging in, for showing some heart, for showing some toughness, some resiliency. They bounced back in that game and made it competitive there in the fourth quarter. Almost got within striking distance where that game could have went the other way in Boston's favor. They almost did, but Miami hung on as I thought they would, as I assumed that they would. They were the fresher, healthier team playing at home. Like I said, Boston missing 2 key components. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. Al Horford, a key component to what they like to do. Both of those guys being out, I think Boston showed a lot of heart and a lot of fight. I think it'll be a good series as long as Horford and Smart are able to lace them up and get out there for game 2, 3, 4. If it goes that far, to game 5 maybe. But anyway, Everyday Fantasy says, great day for the money. Big ups to the chef. That's me. And the Patreon gang. That's you. And if it's not you, you could sign up for Patreon down in the link below. Check the description of the video. It's just $20 a month. You'll win that back, I don't know, within a day or two probably. You play a 2-pick for $10. You hit, boom, Patreon's paid for. And then you're free rolling for the rest of the month. That's how I look at it. But Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. Don P111, says that it was a great day for the money. Big ups to the chef and the Patreon, as well as the best community in player props, period. Boom. Finishes it off with the flex. I like that. Roy says Taco was not needed to score 41 points. You're right about that, brother. But they love Jimmy Butler in that PrizePicks Discord. One thing's for sure, two things are for certain. Jimmy Butler and tacos go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. So they definitely love to vote for Jimmy Butler to be a taco. Ari's in the building, says, it's been a minute. What's up, gang? What's up, CJ? Let's get it tonight. Let's get it. Let's get it. Jimmy Green, good morning, beautiful people. Best of luck today. And just know we win some, we lose some, but we live. We live to fight another day. Best of luck as always. Hit that like button on your way in. Thank you, Jimmy Green, one of our Patreon members. Appreciate you, dude. Thanks for being here. Paid Bando says, good morning, gang. Let's get this money. Zach's in the building. He says, good morning, gang. Decent night last night. Let's make today even better. Yeah, can't really complain, man. I probably had 3 different 5-pick MLB entries go 4 for 5. Those are double ups. Not the worst situation to be in the world. I had 1 slip go for 3 out of 4, so that's a little bit of profit. It was profit, though, for the most part. Huberdew, Vasilevsky, 2-pick power play on that taco. Bang, that hit. The only thing that really didn't hit is NBA, but that's kind of been the case, man. NBA playoffs have been brutal. Brutal. NBA playoffs, brutal. Todd Live for Sunday says, has anyone else have an issue making a deposit on PrizePicks using MC? Is that MasterCard? It said they take longer on MC and can't use it through PayPal either. I'm hoping it's a glitch. I have not heard that. Ripo, good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Moody Clip says, I don't got Discord. Well, what are you doing with your life, man? You got to get on Discord. Be in the community, Moody. Got to get you in there. Let's see here. Essam Ibrahim says, CJ has been eating with the MLB plays. Get in his Patreon ASAP. You ain't lying, my friend. I throw out those early bird lines. I try to beat the crowds, right, with some of these player props for MLB. Sometimes it requires me to stay up really late. Sometimes it requires me to wake up really early. But I like to get in there while the getting's good before the lines start moving and try to hit you guys with some good fantasy prop plays for the pitchers on the MLB. Some good strikeout prop plays. Shoot, I just threw out a 3-pick for pitching outs right before I jumped on to YouTube here. So hopefully that ends up working out. But yes, MLB's been the move. Absolutely. Broderick, what's going on? Thanks for being here, my friend. I see Caden's in the building. He says, hurry up. What are you in a hurry for, man? Listen, what are you in a hurry for? What's the rush, buddy? Tell me what you're in a hurry for. Is there a fire? Is there an emergency? Keaton says, Patreon gang's so OP that I never have to use my own money to play on PrizePicks. You already know what the deal is. Emma, what's good, family? Almost wasted both tacos. Thought Grant Williams' first half points would be fine. With Horford out, I was wrong. Oh, yeah. I don't know about that. Big Whip the Weight Man. That's a hell of a name. What up, CJ? Tuning in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Me and my partner, Sean, tuned in. I like that, brother. North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your hand. Spin it like a helicopter. If you were born in the early 90s, you know. If you were born in the late 80s, you probably know. Petey Pablo. Shout out to Petey Pablo in North Carolina. Shout out to the Nature Boy Ric Flair too, also residing in Charlotte, North Carolina. But yeah, North Carolina on the map. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And Jeremiah says, what's up, CJ? That Butler taco was a sweat. All I got to say is Butler is that guy. Butler certainly looked like that guy last night. Certainly did look like that guy last night. I think he heard some of the criticisms. My man stepped it up. But all right, let's talk about today's NBA matchup, right? We got the Dallas Mavericks at the Golden State Warriors, 214.5 points. It's much higher implied total than yesterday's game between Boston and Miami. So that's the first thing. You should probably expect more scoring between these two teams. Hopefully it'll be a competitive game. It looks like a 5-point spread. It's favoring the Golden State Warriors at the moment, as it should be. They're the better team, better record. They're the home team. So I expect them to have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the spread there. Tim Hardaway Jr. still out for Dallas. Nothing's changed there. For Golden State, James Wiseman, Andre Iguodala, Gary Payton II, Baby Glove. All those guys are out for the Golden State Warriors. So this will be fun, man. We saw what Luka Doncic has done throughout the playoffs since he made his debut late in that Utah Jazz series. Ever since then, man, he's just looked dominant. He had some games in that Phoenix series where it was like, all right, Luka, we're ready for you to start scoring 30 and 40 points again. So he had a couple of games in there where he was like 25 to 30 in that range. And we were like, come on, Luka, it's time for you to step up. And Luka stepped up, man. He buried the Phoenix Suns, especially in that last game. Absolutely lights out. Luka Doncic has arrived. He's arrived. He's an absolute stud. But he's going to have his work cut out for him. Golden State, in my opinion, the front runners, the favorites to potentially win another trophy this year. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. You got Jordan Poole, who has emerged. I mean, they got a great team. Draymond Green, obviously, top to bottom. Maybe the most complete team in all of the playoffs. So it's not going to be easy for Luka Doncic, but I'm looking forward to this series tonight. What are you guys thinking is happening tonight? Dallas or Golden State? Who's taking game one? I'm going to go with Golden State. I think Golden State's going to deliver the first punch in this Western Conference Final Series. Shout out to Caden. My man is out on a field trip. Love that, man. Where you at? Where you live, man? Where's this field trip at? Why didn't you invite any of us to the field trip? I see Good Speed in the building. Shout out to you kitty. Says Luka. Assist. He also likes Golden State to win tonight. All right. Let's talk about some player props. We'll get into that in just a moment. Listen, my Orlando Magic, big news for us. We won the freaking #1 overall pick. Orlando with the #1 overall pick. I'm absolutely stoked. Shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder fans. You guys got the #2 pick. Houston Rockets were able to land the #3 overall pick. So that's going to be your top 3 picks in the draft. Then you got Sacramento. You got Detroit, Indiana, Portland, New Orleans, San Antonio, and Washington rounding out your top 10. How'd your favorite team do? Are you guys satisfied with where those ping pong balls dropped, where they landed? Are you happy about where your favorite team's going to be drafting? Do you wish you had a higher draft pick? Let me know. But as an Orlando Magic fan, super stoked to have the #1 overall pick. It's been a long time coming, man. A long time coming. We could get a real difference maker. Now, this is Tankathon. We talked about Tankathon yesterday. Tankathon currently on their mock draft has us drafting Chet Holmgren #1 overall. I don't want him. 7 feet tall, 195 pounds. The man is a string bean. An actual string bean at 7 feet tall, 195. We got enough string beans on the team. Mo Bamba, string bean of all string beans. Jonathan Isaac, he's a beat, bruised string bean. I don't want another string bean on our team. Who do I want? I want Jabari Smith, man. I want Jabari Smith in Orlando. He reminds me a lot of a former Orlando Magic player. You guys might know who I'm talking about. Go back to year 2009. I'm talking about #9. Sweet Lou, Rashard Lewis. He reminds me a lot of Rashard Lewis with that 6'10" frame. Good defensively. Has a nice outside shooting stroke. Jabari Smith reminds me a lot of Rashard Lewis. So that's who I want. I think he'd be a great fit in Orlando. He's got the defense. He's got the outside shooting. I want Jabari freaking Smith in an Orlando Magic jersey. If we don't get him, I'd be fine with Banchero from Duke. I think he'd be a good fit as well, playing alongside another former Duke Blue Devil and Wendell Carter Jr. Wouldn't be the worst situation in the world. But I'm okay on Chet Holmgren. I'm going to pass on him. Seems like too much of a project. This dude needs to put on a solid 20 pounds. I think he needs to add at least 20 pounds to his frame. 195 pounds at 7 feet tall, man. I'm a little bit worried about that. Don't know if I want that guy. But Jaden Ivey is another prospect that's probably getting overlooked. I'm not sure that he's a great fit for Orlando, but I could see him being a great fit for a team like Oklahoma City. I could see him with Sacramento. Him and De'Aaron Fox in that backcourt with Domantas Sabonis in the front court. Got a vet out on the wing in Harrison Barnes. That wouldn't be bad. Jaden Ivey and De'Aaron Fox. I could see that happening. 6'4", 200 pounds. Got enough size to play shooting guard in the NBA. But there's some good prospects in this year's upcoming draft. So we'll probably be talking about that more in future videos. But yeah, I'm okay on Chet Holmgren. I hope Orlando goes with Jabari Smith Jr. Just think he could really, really help our team right away. I think Holmgren's going to be a little bit of a project. And Banchero, I think he's pretty much NBA ready. But shout out to the Orlando Magic, man. Glad to see us finally nail that number 1 overall pick. All right, let's get down to playing some Poeltl today. I need you guys' help. Poeltl, by the way, it's an NBA player guessing game. It's based on the ever-popular word game called Wordle. You might have heard of Wordle. Took the internet by storm. Well, now we've got Poeltl, an NBA version of Wordle, essentially. So we get 8 guesses. We could try any current NBA player. If you get green in any column, it's a match. If you get yellow in the team column, it indicates that the mystery player at one point or another played for the team, but does not currently. Yellow in the position column indicates a partial match to the mystery player's position. If you get yellow in any other column, it indicates that you're within 2. That could be 2 inches in height, 2 years in age, 2 digits in the jersey number of the mystery player. And if we get stuck, we do have a lifeline. It's called silhouette mode, where it will reveal a silhouette of today's mystery player. So let's get down to business. Luka Doncic is the first guy up on the PrizePicks board. Let's start with Luka. Let's make our first guess, Luka Doncic, and see where we get. Okay. All right. So we know it's not Luka Doncic. We know that this player doesn't play for the Dallas Mavericks. In fact, this player doesn't play in the Western Conference. So we know it's going to be an Eastern Conference player. The position of this player is either forward or guard. We got a partial match there, forward or guard. And the height, we know this player is shorter than 6'7", within 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches of 6'7". So we're talking between probably 6'7" and 6'5" in height. Older than 23, jersey numbers below 77. Below 77. So, Eastern Conference, I mean, we have a lot of different options here. Shorter than 6'7". Let's take it to Orlando, man. Why not? I'm going to go with Markelle Fultz. All right. We're in the mix. Markelle Fultz happens to be exactly 23 years old. I thought he might have been a little bit older than Luka, but he's not. But this player does play in the East, but not the Southeast. This player is not a guard, so we know that it's a forward, but kind of a short forward. A forward between 6'4" and 6'6". We'll say 6'5", 6'6". A little bit older than 23. Jersey number lower than 77. We knew that, but now it's the jersey number that's below 20. So 19 or below on the jersey number. Not in the Southeast, which basically means we can eliminate Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, and Orlando, right? We're basically looking at the Atlantic or Central. Atlantic or Central. You guys are saying Marcus Smart. I'm going to say it's not Marcus Smart because it can't be a guard. It's got to be a forward of some type. I was thinking RJ Barrett too. Is he older than 23 though? That's what I'm concerned with. I don't know if RJ Barrett's older than 23. And I think his jersey number would qualify, but I don't know if he's older than 23. Zach LaVine? I think Zach LaVine would check most of the boxes. He's got to be about 6'5", 6'6". Zach LaVine, though, is a guard, and so being that we did not get a match with Markelle Fultz being a guard, I would say that this player's probably more of a forward, like a small forward or something like that. What do we think about... Can't be in the Southeast. What do we think about like an OG Anunoby maybe? Let's try that out. I think he's got a single-digit jersey number. He's a little older than 23. Close. All right. So we know that this player does play in the East, not in the Southeast though, not in the Atlantic Division, but is a forward. OG Anunoby's 6'7", so he's a little too tall. He's 24 years old, but this player is older than 24, and the jersey number is going to be somewhere between 4 and 19. Somewhere between 4 and 19. You guys are saying Javonte Green. Allen from the Bucks. You talking about Grayson Allen? Well, let's take a look at our options now, because we know it's not going to be an Atlantic or Southeast Division player. So it's going to have to be a Buck, a Bull, a Cav, a Pacer, or a Piston who is older than 24 years old, whose jersey number is somewhere between 4 and 19. Has to be a forward. Javonte Green. I'm not sure how old Javonte Green is. Is he older than 24 though? Let's try it. Javonte Green. That's a pretty darn good guess. We got some more green on green. Player does not play for Chicago though. Is in the Central Division. We kind of narrowed that down already. Green's sort of a hybrid guard forward. He's 6'5". So we know this player is exactly 6'5" now. Javonte Green didn't have the qualifying jersey number. 24, not good. He is 28 years old though, surprisingly. I didn't think he was that old. But now we know that this player is older than 28. So we're talking about a guy that's been in the league for a minute. Grayson Allen, I think, is younger than 28 though. So I don't think it's Grayson Allen. Gary Trent Jr.? Is Trent Jr. up there at 29 years old? I don't know if Gary Trent Jr. is up there at 29 years old. I feel like he's a little younger. Wesley Matthews could be a potential. I think Wesley Matthews has a single-digit jersey number. I don't know if it's higher than 3. Let's go with Wes Matthews. Nope. Jersey number is 23. It ain't Wesley Matthews. Damn. They got us locked up. They consider Wesley Matthews to be a guard. I'm not ready to go to the silhouette yet. We'll save that for our very last guess. But guys, we're on guess 6 of 8. Bradley Beal? Now that's interesting. But the problem with Bradley Beal is he's in the Southeast. Washington Wizards, so he does not qualify. So we're talking Bucks, Bulls, Cavs, Pacers, or Pistons. This player's been in the league for a little bit. We can't let him stump us, gang. Come on. Karis LeVert? I don't know what Karis LeVert's jersey number is, but is it below 20? Is it between 3 and 20? LeVert strikes me as more of a guard. This player is a forward. It doesn't specify small forward or power forward, but I'm guessing small forward. Kevin Love? No. Can't be Kevin Love. Lauri Markkanen. You want me to try Karis LeVert? All right, I'll try Karis LeVert. Just to confirm. Karis LeVert would qualify. He's in the Central Division. It's not Karis LeVert. Not Karis LeVert. His jersey number is number 3. Yes, exactly 6'5". This player is exactly 6'5". We're running out of time. We're running out of options here. We're on guess 7 of 8. We got 2 more guesses. This player is not a Bull, not a Buck, and not a Cavalier. So who's that leave us with? Not a Bull, not a Buck, not a Cav. Got to be a Pacer or Piston. Has to be a Pacer or Piston who stands 6'5", is older than 28, but younger than 35 years old. And the jersey number has to be between 20 and 3. And is a forward, not a guard. Lance Stevenson is between 27 and 30, 28 and 35 years old. Buddy Hield. No, we don't want you to spoil it. We don't want you to spoil it. We're gonna go Buddy Hield, Indiana. It's got to be an Indiana guy. Oh my goodness. We are on our final guess, gang. Being that we're on our final guess, let's see what we have here. We got Indiana, Eastern Conference, Central Division. Buddy Hield, they consider him to be a guard, not a forward. Buddy's a little too short at 6'4". We know this player is exactly 6'5". We also know this player now is older than 29, but younger than 35. And the jersey number's got to be between 20 and 3. Let's do it. Silhouette mode. There's your silhouette. Who does that look like? I mean, at first glance, it looks like the silhouette of Buddy Hield, but it's definitely not Buddy Hield. Could this be, what's his name? Forward. He's a forward. Nah, I think this guy would be a little bit too short at 6'5". It's got to be an Indiana Pacer. O'Shea Brissett, that's who I was thinking of. That silhouette kind of looks like it could be O'Shea Brissett. But is O'Shea Brissett... O'Shea Brissett's not old enough. It's got to be a little bit of an older player. Does Lance Stevenson have like braids? Because that looks like this person either has braids or dreads or cornrows or something along those lines. Miles Turner? Nah, it can't be Miles Turner. Miles Turner's way too tall. This player's 6'5". We're down to our final guess. We got to make this count. Duarte? No, Duarte's too young. Too young. O'Shea Brissett? I think Duarte's too young. This guy's got to be between 29 and 35 years old. Justin Anderson would be... All right, let's go. Let's go Justin Anderson. If we don't get this right, this will be the... Justin Anderson's not even an option. I can't even... Does he spell his name different? I don't even have Justin Anderson as an option here for Indiana. Justin Holiday, he's not even with Indiana anymore. He's with Sacramento. It ain't Justin. It's not Justin Anderson. Can't be. He's not even an option. I don't think it's Lance Stevenson either. You think this is Lance Stevenson? The silhouette is Lance Stevenson? I don't have any other better guesses. We know this player is a veteran. Shoot. Let's do it. Oh, shit. It's Lance Stevenson. I thought Lance Stevenson had waves, man. I thought Lance Stevenson... I didn't know Lance Stevenson had a little braid game going. But apparently, it is Lance Stevenson. He's got a little braid action in this picture. I thought Lance Stevenson had a different cut. I didn't think Stevenson had the braids going. Whew. That was a close call, man. It came down to the wire. 8 guesses. 8 guesses. I really didn't think Lance Stevenson had braids, though. I got to be honest with you. That silhouette looked awfully like Buddy Hield to me. Darian called his shot. Boom. It is Lance Stevenson. Man, that was one of the hardest ones that I've had in a while. Took us quite a few guesses. Took all 8 guesses. Shout out to you guys, though. Got the job done, man. Lance Stevenson, Indiana Pacers. So my boy Lance is considered to be a forward, 6'5". He's 31 years old. Jersey number 6. What a journey, huh? What a journey to get us all the way down to Lance Stevenson. Shout out to you guys, though. You helped crack the code. All right, what are we talking about today? We got some player props here to discuss. Obviously, it's Dallas and Golden State, so let's do the darn thing. Let's see maybe what we can expect from these guys. You know, we got Luka out there. Got his role players. Dinwiddie, Brunson. You got Dorian Finney-Smith. My man Reggie Bullock facing off against Curry, Clay. You got Andrew Wiggins. Jordan Poole, who's kind of cooled off a little bit. Jordan Poole's cooled off a little bit. So let's take a look at these guys here. We're going to go Dallas, Golden State. We're using props.cash, by the way, to do our player prop research. If you want to sign up for props.cash, they offer NBA, MLB, NHL, and NFL. 25% off your first month of props.cash. Head down to the description of the video. Click the link. Get signed up for props.cash. Pow. All right. Looking at the playoffs here between Dallas and Golden State, we got a number of different guys hitting their points prop at a pretty good clip. Jalen Brunson at 18.5. We're getting him at 19.5 today, but he's hitting it over 69% of his playoff games so far. Andrew Wiggins at 15.5. He's got a pretty nice little 63.6% hit rate throughout the playoffs on his point prop. Reggie Bullock is all the way down to 8.5, 61.5% hit rate for him throughout the playoffs. Maxi Kleber, 7.5 points, 61.5% hit rate for him. We got Curry up at 27.5, 54.5% hit rate. Jordan Poole also at 54.5%, 15.5 on Jordan Poole, gang. What do we think about that number? Is that not juicy looking? I mean, we were seeing 19.5, 20.5 for Jordan Poole not that long ago. He's all the way down to 15.5. So we'll have to see what Jordan Poole does in this series. It's game 1. Literally anything can happen. We're kind of flying into this dark, flying into it blind. So let's start things off with the man of the hour, Luka Magic, as they like to call him. Let's see what Luka Doncic has been up to, both in the playoffs and against Golden State this season. In his playoff run at 32.5 points, Luka's got a 50% hit rate throughout the playoffs. In that series against Phoenix, he did cover his points prop in 4 out of 7 games, so pretty decent job. We saw him kind of have like a bookend, right? Games 1 and 2 against Phoenix, 45 and 35. Then he closed out the series with 33 and 35 points. Luka's looked amazing, unstoppable, truly dominant. Phoenix really didn't have an answer for him. These games where he had 26 and 28, I mean, I'm sure Luka could have scored 30 if he wanted to. Sure could have. Against Golden State this season, he has now played the Warriors a total of 4 times. We've seen him go under in 2 games and over in 2 others. Most recently, back in February and in March, he hit 34 and 41 points against the Golden State Warriors. So he sure as heck can get it done. It's important to note, too, that the games that he went over his point prop were both games post-Porzingis Dinwiddie trade. So this was after that Dallas had acquired Spencer Dinwiddie in that trade with Washington for Kristaps Porzingis. So pretty much the same nucleus of players that are on Dallas right now. He hit 34 and 41 points against the Dubs in those games, February 27th and March 3rd. So that's kind of encouraging to see that for Luka. So 2 most recent matchups against the Warriors, he hit the over in both of them. Let's get a projection on Luka Doncic here. Let's refresh. We're using Action Labs for their projection tools. Action Labs, a part of the Fantasy Labs premium projection package, triple Ps. He's projected for 33.2 points, which I don't think is a bad projection. I don't think that that's off the wall or crazy, right? 33.2, totally doable. I could see Luka going over 32.5 points tonight. Out on your favorite sports books, he is at 33.5 points. So we are seeing 1 point of value on Luka Doncic and his point prop today at 32.5. What are we thinking about Luka Doncic? Over or under on 32.5 points? I kind of like to see him come out and hit the over, man. Basically, at Golden State this season, he's 1 for 2, 25 and 34. So 50% hit rate, right? It could be a total coin flip. But I think I would lean toward the over on Luka Doncic in game 1, just seeing how hot he's been. If Props.Cash is any indication here, at 32.5 points, he's a minus 148 betting favorite to go over 32.5. So that's pretty strong juice at 32.5. Just another reason why we should maybe consider taking the over on Luka Doncic. So that could be a good look over Luka on 32.5 points. Obviously, maybe I don't even want to say it. I was about to say maybe the second biggest star in this game. At this point, is Steph Curry the first or second biggest star in this series? You guys tell me. Is Luka a bigger star than Steph Curry yet, or nah? Am I tripping? I might be tripping. All right, we'll say Steph Curry is the biggest star in this series. He's at 27.5 points. Let's take a look at Curry and see what he's been up to in the playoffs, and then we'll look at his matchups as well against the Dallas Mavericks. So we're getting Curry at 27.5 points. He's now 6 for 11 in the playoffs, 55% hit rate. Not too shabby for Steph Curry. 27.5, 55% hit rate throughout the playoffs. Looking back at that Memphis series, it was a little hit or miss for him. 50% hit rate in that Memphis series. What I will point out to you is this. He seems to hit better at home than he does on the road. So let's look at the splits for Curry. Steph Curry at home in the playoffs is now 5 for 6, covering 27.5 points. 83% hit rate. Does that encourage you guys anymore? And really, if you take away this first game was his first game back. Remember, he had that little layoff at the end of the regular season. So we could kind of cut him some slack for only 16 points in that first game against Denver. But ever since then, Steph Curry playing at home, 34, 30, 30, 32, and 29. Steph Curry has now hit the over on 27.5 points in 5 straight games at home in the playoffs. It's a little eye-opening. I didn't know he was scoring the ball so well at home. He's averaging 28.5 points at home in the playoffs this season. Now we take a look at the road splits. What happens when Steph Curry plays away from Golden State? Well, in the playoffs, he's just 1 for 5, 20% hit rate. So definitely scores the rock a bit better when he's playing at home. Can we agree on that? 5 straight home games, he's hit the over on 27.5 points. What are we thinking, gang? That looks too good for me to pass up. Last 5 games, he's averaging 31 points at home. So hopefully he keeps it going tonight. Let's get a projection for Steph Curry's potential point output tonight. He's projected for 29 points. 29 points. Take a look at where he's at on the sports books today. He's at 26.5 on some sites, 27.5 on most sites, though. At 27.5, we're seeing the betting public take the under on Steph Curry tonight. I don't know if I like that. I think that's a bad idea. Being that he's now hit the over in 5 straight games at home, averaging 31 points. You guys tell me, over or under? Steph Curry, 27.5 points. Over or under? I'd have to lean toward the over. And if it burns me, so be it. But other than that first game back against Denver, my man's been money. Straight cash at home. Looking like a good way to go. Anyway. Philip says, CJ, you're tripping. Put some respect on Chef Curry. You're right. Maybe I got a little excited. All right, I'm in love right now with what Luka Doncic is doing in the playoffs. There's definitely some recency bias. Seeing what Luka's doing, I'm I'm getting lost in the sauce, Phil. Getting lost in the sauce. But yeah, Steph Curry at home, much different animal than he is on the road. So if you want to take the over on Curry's points, I'm not mad at it. Jalen Brunson, 19.5 points. Had a little bit of a rocky series in that Phoenix playoff series. Let's take a look at Jalen Brunson here and kind of get a little idea of what's going on with him. He's at 19.5 on PrizePicks today. We're seeing him at 18.5 according to Props.Cash. So we've got to bump him up to 19.5, which doesn't really change his playoff hit rates at all. Brunson, fantastic against the Utah Jazz. Hit this points prop in every single game against Utah, going 6 for 6 in that series. But things changed a little bit for Jalen Brunson going up against Phoenix. It was a lot more spotty, right? Only had 3 overs and 4 unders. Not a very good hit rate, 3 for 7 against Phoenix. Against Golden State this season, he's faced the Warriors 4 times, has failed to go over 19.5 points in any game against Golden State. Now, the 2 games that are most important for us to look at are these 2. This one, February 27th, post-Dinwiddie trade. So Dallas already had Dinwiddie at this point, only scored 8 points there, 14 points against Golden State back on March 3rd, the last time these 2 teams met. So he's 0 for 4 going over 19.5 points against Golden State this season, and he's 0 for 2 since they acquired Dinwiddie in a trade at going over 19.5. So for me, I'm either going to fade Jalen Brunson, meaning I'm not going to play him at all, or I might be considering the under on him. At 19.5 points, Props.Cash has him as a minus 132 betting favorite to go under 19.5. So definitely worth considering that. Now, Jalen Brunson, he's projected for 20.2. If we look at his player prop line out on your favorite sports books, he's at 18.5, 19.5 points. At 18.5, the betting public taking the over. At 19.5, they're backing off. They don't think he's going to score 20 or more points tonight. They're taking the under at 19.5. So I'd probably say Brunson at 19.5. I'm out on that. You guys are saying that Brunson has been bumped down to 18.5. Sure enough, he has. So now we've got a little bit of a dilemma on our hands, right? What do we do at 18.5 for Jalen Brunson? Do we like it better at 18.5? Does that entice us to go over? Not really. Doesn't entice me because even at 18.5, my guy has not hit this prop in any game against Golden State this season. I'm still off of Brunson at 18.5. It's either going to be a fade for me, meaning I'm not going to take this prop at all, or I would maybe click the under. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Happy hump day to you as well, Chill Robots. Appreciate you being here. What about Klay Thompson, man? Klay was absolutely on fire that last game against the Memphis Grizzlies to close out that series. The last time we saw Klay was looking like the old Klay, right? Klay Thompson was definitely in his bag offensively. Dropped 30 points against Memphis in that closeout game. Taking a look at Klay Thompson today, he is at 21.5 points. When we crank him up to 21.5, we see his hit rates throughout the playoffs is just 3 for 11, 27%. Not the greatest hit rates whatsoever. There's probably going to be some recency bias. Again, the last mental image we have of Klay Thompson was of him lighting the Memphis Grizzlies on fire, right? Klay was just hitting everything. That's going to be the last mental image that a lot of people have in their heads of Klay Thompson. But it's important we go back and look at what he's done throughout the playoffs. And really, at 21.5 points, he's only done this 3 times. He's only gone over 21.5 points 3 times out of his last 11 games. So I would be a little hesitant on Klay, knowing what we know now. In fact, when we look at what Klay Thompson's done at home in Golden State, my guy is just 1 for 6 in the playoffs, 17% hit rate. 17% hit rate through 6 home playoff games. So has not been scoring very well other than that closeout game against Memphis where he dropped 30 points the last time we saw him. So I'm a little bit leery of taking any overs on Klay Thompson, kind of looking at the big picture here, what he's done in the playoffs at home. Now we could also take a look at what he's done against Dallas this season. He's only played the Mavericks twice, just twice. 15 points the first time they played, 16 points the most recent game that they had against Dallas, which was back at the beginning of March. So I don't know that I am in love with Klay Thompson over 21.5 points. What do you guys think? We taking Klay over, under, or is Klay Thompson just going to be one that we don't touch, that we stay away from? Tell me in the chat. Let me know. Klay's at 21.5 on most sports books at 21.5. They are slightly betting the under there. They don't think he's going to go for 22 points. One book has him at 20.5. It's FanDuel at 20.5. Slight betting favor to go over there, minus 112. So we're seeing some different results here for Klay Thompson. Some books betting favor to go under at 21.5. Some books betting favor to go over at 20.5. So I'm probably staying away from Klay Thompson today. It's just looking a little too sketch for me. We talked briefly about Jordan Poole because the 15.5 points for me is just looking very, very enticing. Very enticing, but we got to dig in a little bit deeper here. What's been going on with Jordan Poole? I mean, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's obviously healthy now. Starting off the playoffs, Poole was still doing his thing, but since then, Curry's kind of taken over again. And Poole's been nothing more than a very good role player. So looking at the playoff run here for Jordan Poole, he is now 6 for 11, going over 15.5 points. The last 3 games have been kind of ugly, 14, 3, and 12 in his last 3 playoff games. He started off the series against Memphis very strong, though, with 31, 20, and 27. So there's definitely potential for Jordan Poole. There's definitely upside for him. But I am a little bit concerned that his last 3 games have been pretty bad. Stinkers, right? Let's look at his minutes real quick. A lot of what we're seeing with Jordan Poole has to do with his playing time. The first 3 games of the Memphis series, 37, 33, and 31. He did have 32 minutes in game 4, but didn't really make much of those. But in the last 2 games, we've seen Poole's minutes cut all the way back to 20 and 24 minutes. So that's definitely going to be a major factor as to why Jordan Poole's point prop today is all the way down at 15.5. With reduced minutes, typically mean reduced opportunities. So the last 3 games of that series, he attempted just 12 and 6. Field goal attempts, the very last game, he did shoot it 15 times, but was just 4 for 15. Did not have a good shooting day at all. So Jordan Poole scares me a little bit at just 15.5 points. Got to be honest with you. But I will say this, at 15.5, like we're getting him on PrizePicks, he is a betting favorite, minus 144 odds according to props.cash. Minus 144 is something to definitely take into consideration. Pretty good juice on Jordan Poole at 15.5. He's projected for 19.1. Most sports books have Jordan Poole at 16.5. So we are seeing a point of value on Jordan Poole. So if you think for some reason Jordan Poole plays more minutes tonight, then he might have an opportunity to go for 16 or more points. What are you guys thinking about Jordan Poole at 15.5 points? Is it an over for you? Is it an under? Or is it one that you're just going to stay away from and fade completely? Let me know, chat. All right, enough about the points. Let's move it on over to assists and keep this thing rolling here. We can take a look at some of the playoff hit rates for assists coming from this game. And speaking of assists, if you haven't hit that like button yet, now's your opportunity to do so. You can assist me by just hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate all the support, as usual. Luka Doncic, 7.5 assists, just a 50% hit rate throughout the playoffs this season. Not great. You got Spencer Dinwiddie, who is not up on the board, leading the way at 61.5%. Jordan Poole's down at 3.5 assists. So maybe if we don't trust Jordan Poole to score the ball, maybe he's more on the pass first end of things. Maybe he's setting up guys to score. 3.5 assists for him, though. He's hit this in about 55% of his playoff games. We know Draymond Green, typically the quarterback for the Golden State Warriors. He is the guy who leads them in potential assists per game throughout the playoffs. He's at 6.5. He's hit this in 45.5% of his playoff games. Jalen Brunson, we're getting him at 3. He's at 3.5 according to props.cash. 46.2% hit rate for him. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the potential assist numbers for both ball clubs real quick. Just kind of get an idea who's leading their team in potential assists. So we'll start things off with the Golden State Warriors. And like I mentioned, Draymond Green is leading the way at 13.9. Let's call it 14. 14 potential assists per game. So basically he has to convert at about a 50% conversion rate on those 14 potential assists for him to hit the over, right? He needs 7 assists. He's attempting about 14 potentials per game. So if he has a 50% conversion rate or hit rate on those 14 potential assists, then he should be able to go over 6.5, right? Now behind him, Jordan Poole at 8.5 potential assists per game through 11 playoff games. So he's got to go for slightly less than 50%, right, to hit 4 assists. Steph Curry's right behind those guys at 5.5 assists. Curry at 8.4 potential assists throughout the playoffs. So I think Draymond, if you're going to play an assist prop at 14 potential assists per game, would probably be a decent way to go. Like I said, he's the one that's kind of directing traffic out there on offense. He's the one with the ball in his hands quite a bit. We look at his playoff run so far. He's 5 for 11, 45% hit rate at 6.5 dimes. 45% is not great. But a lot of these games, 6 assists, 5 assists. I mean, he's going to be in the hunt for 6 to 7 assists in almost every game. Against Dallas this season, he's only played them once, and in that game, he had just 4 assists. Important to know. But 4 assists on 32 minutes played. We expect his minutes to go up, right? Being that it's a game 1 of a Western Conference Finals, right? He's going to play more than 32 minutes unless it turns into a blowout for whatever reason. But Draymond, by far, definitely leading the Golden State Warriors in assist opportunities. So taking a look at his projection, he's projected for 8.2 dimes. That's more than 6.5. And at 6.5, the betting public feels the same way that a lot of you feel, that 6.5 assists is totally doable. So they're betting the over at 6.5. You guys liking the over on Draymond Green? Let me know. I see a lot of people, Elijah, Paid Bando, they're liking Draymond. Kevin, you're also liking Draymond. Darian's liking Draymond. My man Duncan's talking about Jalen Brunson at 3 assists where he's set up to push, meaning tie. He thinks that Jalen Brunson at 3 assists could end up in a potential tie. So let's look at the potential assists for this Dallas Mavericks team real quick. Obviously, Luka's probably going to be leading the way in potential assists per game, which would be to no one's surprise, right? And that is the case. Luka's sitting out there at 13.5 potential assists, meaning he has to have a pretty high conversion rate on those 13.5 for him to find 8 assists. So I'm probably going to back off of Luka. I'd like him better at 6.5. I think that'd be more appropriate. 7.5 is going to be a little bit too rich for my blood. But the guy right behind Luka in potential assists is Jalen Brunson at 7.5 potential assists on average through 13 playoff games. So if he's going to be at 7.5 potential assists tonight, and he goes about 50% on the 7.5, he should be right in the mix for 3 to 4 dimes. 3 to 4, totally doable. So let's take a look at Jalen Brunson real quick at 3 assists and see which way we're thinking about going here on him. Throughout the playoffs, once we bump him up to 3 assists, you can see he's got a lot of games where he's hit 3 or more. Now against Phoenix, that series that just wrapped up against the Suns, he hit 3 or more in just 3 out of 7 games. So the hit rate's not great against the Suns. Maybe things change for him in this series, though. I don't mind you taking a little flyer here on Jalen Brunson over 3 assists. But a lot of the games in Phoenix, especially the last 3, 2, 2, and 2. There's a lot of 2s in there for Jalen Brunson. Now against Golden State, the great news about Jalen Brunson is he has now gone over 3 assists in every single game against the Warriors, including the 2 most recent ones since they acquired Spencer Dinwiddie in that trade for Porzingis. So he's 2 for 2 post Dinwiddie trade, and he's 4 for 4 overall, 100% hit rate against the Warriors. But let me remind you, Bam Adebayo last night at 2.5 assists. He was also 100% against the Boston Celtics, and he did not hit his prop. He was 6 out of his last 6 games dating back to last season against the Boston Celtics over 2.5 dimes. He didn't get the job done. So despite the success Jalen Brunson's had against the Golden State Warriors this season, in the regular season, the playoffs is like its own separate season. Totally different, man. So, I would probably still lean toward the over on 3, but, things can happen. Crazy things can happen in the playoffs, as we've learned. He's projected for 5.1 dimes. At 3.5 assists, he is a betting favorite, minus 180 to go under 3.5, which is why we're getting him at an even 3, a flat 3. There's no hook on this, right? So there you go. Otherwise, maybe you take a shot on Jordan Poole at 3.5 assists. Again, he's second on the Golden State Warriors in potential assists, but I am worried about his minutes being reduced in the last couple of games. 20 to 25 minutes just isn't a good look for me to take very many overs on Jordan Poole, especially not on his points prop, but maybe he plays more of a facilitator role. So if you wanted to take the over on 3.5 dimes, not mad at that. What about rebounds? Lots of different ways to go for some of these rebound props. Let's take a look at those. This guy right here, 5.5 rebounds, Andrew Wiggins, 72, nearly 73% hit rate in the playoffs so far. Luka Doncic at 9.5 boards, he's got a 70% hit rate, finding 10 or more rebounds in 7 out of 10 playoff games. Spencer Dinwiddie, not up on the board, so we can't really talk about him. Reggie Bullock, 4.5 rebounds, decent hit rate for him, 53.8%. Jalen Brunson, his teammate, also sitting out there at 4 rebounds, 53.8% hit rate for him. Dwight Powell, I'm going to stay away from Dwight Powell. He just has been pretty much the non-factor, we'll say, with Maxi Kleber coming on strong throughout the playoffs. So I'm going to stay away from that. These other guys, as far as playoff hit rates go, not all that sexy. Steph Curry at 5.5 boards, just a 27.3% hit rate. We're getting him at 5. Maybe we take the under on Curry's rebounds. Not Miggs, you're actually liking Powell over 3 rebounds? You think he plays a bigger role against Golden State? I don't know, man. They're saying Maxi Kleber, Duncan's saying Maxi Kleber over 4.5 rebounds is getting some pretty good traction out on the books, minus 145 and minus 150. Interesting. Well, let's start with Andrew Wiggins, being that he's crushing his rebound prop of 5.5 more often than not. Wiggins has been doing the darn thing. Let's look at him. One other thing that I want to take a look at, too, is if you go NBA rebound chances. They got this other thing on NBA.com that you guys should check out. It's called Rebound Chances. Players tracking, rebounding. And then you can look at the playoffs and you can see who's leading their team in rebound chances. So let's look at this Golden State Warriors team real quick. We'll go to advanced filters. We'll change the team to Golden State. Click run it. And then it'll give you an idea who's leading their team in rebound chances. So the guy who gets the most rebound chances, most rebound opportunities is Draymond Green at 13.5 rebound chances per game. All right. Andrew Wiggins at 5.5 rebounds. He gets about 12.5 rebound chances or rebound opportunities per game, which means if he finds about half of those chances at 12.5, he should be right there at 6 rebounds and have a real opportunity of going over 5.5. So I think Wiggins looks like a pretty decent overplay, being that he's second in the team at 12.5 rebound chances. So let's dig into Andrew Wiggins' rebounds real quick. Throughout the playoffs at 5.5 boards, 73% hit rate for Andrew Wiggins. It's been feast or famine for the most part throughout the playoffs. What I mean by that is he's either getting, 6, 8, 9, even 10 and 11 rebounds, or he's just getting like 1, 3, or 5. Now let's look at those games where he's only had 1, 3, or 5. There's something that's very interesting here. In the games that he's went under his rebounds, 23 minutes, 25.7 minutes, 19.4 minutes. So basically any game where he's gotten 26 or more minutes of playtime, he's hit his rebound prop. And I expect tonight he should get 26 or more minutes unless he gets into foul trouble for some reason. So I wouldn't be mad at you taking the over on Andrew Wiggins. Let's just bet on him playing 26 or more minutes, right? Because when that happens, he hits his rebound prop every single time. So I like that. Second in the team in rebound opportunities, rebound chances. And if the minutes are there, he should have every opportunity in the world to hit the over. Now, at 5.5 rebounds, he is a big betting favorite. Minus 160, minus 145, minus 150 on all the books to go over 5.5 boards. So I like Wiggins to continue his high rebounding ways. That one looks good. That one looks real good. Anybody else from the Warriors on rebounds rather? We talked about Draymond Green. I don't know. I'm going to stay away from him, I think. Looney's not up on the board for rebounds. I don't see him. He's third on the team in potential boards or rebound chances or rebound opportunities, whatever you want to call it. Curry's getting about 8.8 rebound chances per game. His prop line is at 5. Meaning he's going to have to be pretty efficient with his rebounding. But I don't know if I trust that all that much. Is Kuminga getting any play today? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Duncan says, been seeing Bullock over 4.5 rebounds as a popular play on gambling Twitter. All right, well, let's take a look at why Reggie Bullock might or might not be a good play. We got to get some Dallas Mavericks rebounds up here, right? So we'll go to Dallas. We'll click Run It. We're looking at the rebound chances for the Dallas Mavericks throughout the playoffs. So Luka Doncic is leading the way in rebound chances per game through 10 playoff games. He averages about 15 rebound opportunities per game. He would have to go 10 for 15, which is asking a lot. I don't like that. I like those ones where a player has to go about like 50%. Like a Dorian Finney-Smith right here, he's averaging about 10.7 rebound chances per game. If he found 5 of the 10.7 rebound chances that he's averaging, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I think we look at Dorian Finney-Smith real quick as a potential rebound overplay. Throughout the playoffs at 4.5 rebounds, Dorian Finney-Smith's got a 69% hit rate. Coming out of that series against Phoenix, he hit the over in 4 out of 7 games, so he's hitting the over more often than not. So I think Dorian Finney-Smith looking like a pretty solid option here, over 4.5 rebounds. He should be in the mix, in the hunt. Against Golden State this season, Dorian Finney-Smith has now hit the over in 2 out of 4 games against Golden State. So 50% hit rate against Golden State. As far as the projection goes, I got Dorian Finney-Smith projected for 5.6 boards. At 4.5, though, he's a big betting favorite. Minus 155, minus 175 to go over 4.5. So I kind of like Dorian Finney-Smith over 4.5 rebounds, being that he's so high up on the rebound chances for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Reggie Bullock is also at 4.5 rebounds, but if you look at the rebound chances for him, they're a lot lower at 7.7. He's going to have to be very efficient in collecting rebounds on this 7.7 rebound chances that he's averaging throughout the playoffs. So for me, I think DFS is going to be my guy. I prefer him over Reggie Bullock. One other one to consider, Jalen Brunson at 4 rebounds. And why do I mention Jalen Brunson? Well, he's averaging about 9.2 rebound chances per game. He just needs to convert on about half of those. It could end up being a push at 4, but there is an opportunity, a path for him to find 5 rebounds. So Jalen Brunson could be a good look too, being that he's averaging so many rebound chances per game. Let's take a look at Brunson real quick. in the playoffs at 4 rebounds. We got to dial him down here. He's hit 4 or more rebounds in every playoff game except for 3. Every game except for 3. So that's 10 out of 13 games he's had 4 or more rebounds. So like I said, those rebound opportunities being over 9, I like Jalen Brunson for maybe 4 or more boards. I think that could be a worthwhile look. What do you guys think? Against Golden State, did not rebound the basketball very well in 4 regular season games against the Warriors. He's just 1 for 4 against them there. But I think Brunson for rebounds or Brunson for assists is worth taking a shot on. Brunson's projection, 4.5. That's more than 4. And at 4.5, most of the betting public on these books, they're slamming the under here, minus 155, minus 150. So we're getting him at 4. So I would lean toward the over on Brunson at 4. Maybe it ties, maybe it pushes, but if it does, that's not the worst case. Are you guys saying Reggie Bullock is out? Is that confirmed? Can you guys confirm that? Let me know. I have not heard Reggie Bullock is out today. But if he is, that could definitely shake things up. What are we liking for PRA? Anytime I see Luka Doncic under 50 PRA, I think that's something that we can consider playing. It's always something that we can consider playing, right? The guy that's actually leading the way in terms of PRA hit rate in the playoffs is Jalen Brunson at 26.5. He's hit this in over 69% of his playoff games. Giggity. 69% hit rate. Giggity. So Jalen Brunson leading the way in PRA hit rate. Andrew Wiggins is right behind him at 63.6%. Jordan Poole at 23.5 PRA, also at 63.6%. And then you got Reggie Bullock at 14.5 PRA, 61.5%. Otherwise, the rest of these players are at like 50% or below, 54% or below. All right, I was just making sure. I see some people type in Reggie out, Reggie this, Reggie that. So, I just wanted to make sure. I haven't heard personally that Reggie Bullock is going to miss a game tonight. But I appreciate you guys confirming. Darian's liking Luka, Brunson, and Dorian Finney-Smith over on their PRA. Well, let's start with Luka Magic. How could we not start with Luka Magic? Let's take a look at what Luka Doncic has done at this 49.5 PRA figure here. Throughout the playoffs, bump him all the way down to 49.5. You can see he's only got a 30% hit rate at 49.5. Not great. 30% or 3 for 10 in his playoff run. But against Golden State, what has he done? In the regular season, 1 for 4. The last time he played the Warriors, he did hit the over with 60 PRA. So, as great as Luka is, I'm a little hesitant. I might want to take game 1 to evaluate Luka Doncic here. Might want to take my foot off the gas on Luka Doncic just a little bit with this PRA prop. But I will tell you this, at 51.5 on the books, you are getting 2 PRA value, which is pretty significant on PrizePicks. So we're getting a bit of a discount. 49.5 on PrizePicks, 51.5 if you take this prop anywhere else. So I like that. Shout out to PrizePicks for the little bit of value there. And as far as the projection goes, he's projected for 53.4 PRA. Now you mentioned Brunson. Brunson does have a pretty high hit rate on his PRA, so we could take a look at him real quick. Being that we've talked about Brunson for assists and for rebounds, it makes sense that he'd be in contention as a PRA prop, possibly as well. At 26.5 PRA, 69% hit rate, giggity. 9 for 13 throughout the playoffs. He's definitely cooled off since Luka's come back, especially in that Phoenix series. It was a very volatile series for Brunson. A lot of ups and downs in that series. Kind of hard to trust Jalen Brunson against Phoenix. But this is Golden State. Maybe things turn around for him. In 4 regular season games against Golden State, he didn't cover his prop, y'all. He's 0 for 4 at 26.5 PRA. 21 was the most PRA that he recorded against the Warriors. So, again, kind of a little skittish for me. I don't know if I want to take the over on Brunson. Might take this one off and just kind of sit back and observe, and let's see how things play out for Luka, for Brunson. But he is projecting for 29.7 PRA, and the betting public on some of these sites are taking the over on him. But I'm going to stay away from it. Charles is saying, when I did Klay Thompson at home for 21.5 points, is he still at 21.5? You had it set to 28 points. Did I? Sometimes Prop.Cash does a little flippy floppy on me. Let's just go back. Let's go back. I don't want to give anybody the wrong information or anything like that. I want to make sure we're accurate here. 21.5 points. Klay Thompson, 3 for 11. 27% hit rate. All right. 21.5, 27% hit rate. You said whenever I showed him at home, I had it set to something different. I'm talking about home playoff games for Klay Thompson's points at 21.5. He's 1 for 6, 17%. So where did I go wrong here? I don't have it set at 28 points. I have it set at 21.5. The line is set at 21.5. Throughout the playoffs this season, he is 1 for 6, 17% at home. Charles, now what? I'm just messing with you. But am I wrong? Do you see something wrong with what I'm doing here? It all looks good to me. 21.5 points at home in the playoffs this season. 1 for 6, 17%. It was set wrong, but he still missed you. You're not wrong. Oh, well, you said he hit it home all but one game. I'm just showing you. Making sure we're on the same page here. But yeah, Klay Thompson's not been very good at home. 1 for 6, 17% at 21.5 points. Just making sure. We're all good here. We're all good. We can go back. Keep moving forward. Moody, brother, can you please stop begging people for money in the chat? Not a good look, bro. I understand. It sounds like you're down bad. But that's not a good look, brother. We don't get together to, do charity here. Please, if you could stop with the panhandling in the chat, I'd appreciate it, Moody. Fantasy score. A lot of different fantasy score props. You got Luka, Steph, Jalen, Klay. I mean, Bullock's been doing a pretty good job with his fantasy score. Let's take a look at some of these real quick. Let me refresh, make sure we've got all the latest projections pulled in here. Obviously, if you're doing any kind of fantasy score props, make sure that you're using FanDuel projections for those. Luka Doncic is projected for 62.1 fantasy score. Again, this is only one player model for fantasy score. Check a site like NumberFire as like a second reference, but Luka is projecting for 62 fantasy score, so that's quite a bit higher than the 56. Curry, he's sitting at 44 on PrizePicks, 48.2 on Fantasy Labs. So there's a couple of the popular ones. Klay Thompson, probably going to be another popular one. Klay's got the ability to get some blocks and some steals, some defensive stats. So they've got him projected for 41 fantasy points. He's at 33 on PrizePicks. That's a pretty big difference. Again, cross-reference, double-check these on some other sites. NumberFire, RotoWire, free projections on both of those. But I'm sorry, Moody, but when I see you like repeatedly over and over asking people for $10 so that you can go bet on sports, it sounds like you've got a problem, a bigger problem in your life. If you're down that bad, maybe you should take a break for a little while, buddy. This should be for fun. This should be for entertainment. This shouldn't be the way that you look to pay your bills or survive. Betting on player props and sports and stuff. I think you might have bigger problems going on in your life. Just, you cannot bet too. You don't have to bet every day. You don't have to play. That's always an option. There's always another option, all right? If you can afford to do it, do it. Do it responsibly. But don't come in here begging people for money with your hand out. Not a good look, my friend. Not a good look. I don't even know if he's still in here. If you are still in here, Moody, just take a break for a little while, buddy. If you've drained your account, your pockets are empty, hey, maybe that's a sign this ain't for you. This might not be for you. You've depleted your funds, and now you're wanting to deplete somebody else's funds. You got your hand out looking for a $10 bill. I don't know if you've seen what's going on in this nation, but everything is up. Gas is up. Food is up. The prices of everything have gone up. People ain't got extra $10 laying around like maybe they did a couple years ago. All right? Might be kind of hard for you to find charity, donations. Not trying to put you on blast, but you kind of did it to yourself. Back off a little bit on the sports betting stuff. Sorry, man, but somebody's got to tell you the truth. Back off. Anyway, 3-point makes. Let's talk about those. Just gotta talk to him sometimes. Somebody's got to sit this guy down and be honest with him. Reggie Bullock at 2.5 3-point makes, 61.5% hit rate. We're getting him at 2 today. We're getting him at 2 today on the PrizePicks board. Spencer Dinwiddie at 1.5 3-point makes. He's got a nice little hit rate throughout the playoffs, 61.5% hit rate. Jordan Poole, 1.5 3-point makes, 54.5% hit rate. We're getting him at 2. Luka Doncic at 3.5, 50% hit rate throughout the playoffs. Everybody else from there is below 50%. Where do we want to go here on these 3-point make props? Oh, Lewis, I keep it real. If there's anything that I do, I keep it real. I keep it honest with him. He needed to hear that. He needed to hear that. I don't want him making you guys feel uncomfortable, putting you in a spot. I mean, I don't know this guy. He could be anybody. All of a sudden, you're handing him money? It's just a Band-Aid for what is probably a bigger wound. There's probably more going on behind the scenes if Moody's out here asking for money. Yeah. Smirk Unreleased is liking some Spencer Dinwiddie for threes at 1.5. So let's make that the starting point. Dinwiddie had some flashes of brilliance, had some good moments in that last series against the Phoenix Suns. Taking a look at what he's done throughout the playoffs, he is 8 for 13, 62%, going over 1.5 3-point makes. Had a pretty good showing in that Phoenix series. He hit the over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 games. So 5 out of his last 7. That's not too shabby. Throughout the playoffs, he's actually averaging 2 3-point makes per game through 13 playoff games. He's played Golden State now twice. Both of those games were after the trade. So after he went from Washington to Dallas, He played Golden State twice, and he hit the over on his three-point makes in both games, both matchups against Golden State. Hitting exactly 2, which is what he would need tonight for the over. So he is now 2 for 2 versus Golden State, dropping 2 3-point makes in both of those games. So let's get you a projection on Dinwiddie. I think he could be a good look. I kind of like where Smirk Unreleased is going with this. Dinwiddie at 1.4 projected 3-point makes. He's a betting favorite to go over, minus 130 over 1.5 3-point makes. So we are seeing some action over on the 1.5. So that could be a good one. Dr. Curry Phil. Listen, I'm a man who wears many hats when I get on these live streams. I'm running everything here behind the scenes, moderating the chat. I got all the lights and the camera and I got all these things going on. I didn't sign up to be the guy giving interventions as well. But hey, if I can help somebody, hopefully it does help. But yeah, Dinwiddie over 3s looks pretty nice. Adalbert Victor is liking Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock at 2. He's got one of the higher hit rates throughout the playoffs so far, so I think Reggie Bullock could be a move. I tend to like some of these Dallas Mavericks shooters when they're at home versus on the road, but we'll kind of take a look at that real quick and see how that's going for Reggie Bullock here. So we're going to bump him down to 2 3-point makes, and you kind of see what Reggie Bullock's been up to throughout the playoffs. He's hit 2 or more threes in every playoff game, so 13 playoff games. He's 11 for 13 at 2 or more 3-point makes. Had himself a pretty decent series from beyond the arc against Phoenix, hitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7. So he's 5 out of his last 7. So I don't mind you taking a shot on Reggie Bullock. Now we talked about maybe he shoots better at home versus on the road. Let's just look at that real quick. So he's perfect at 2 3-point makes or better. Perfect when he plays in Dallas. Definitely has a much better hit rate. 5 for 5, 100%. Or 6 for 6, 100% at 2 3-point makes playing at home. But he's not going to be at home tonight. He's going to be on the road. Hit rate's still good. Still good. He's hit the over in 5 out of 7 games. 2 or more in 5 out of 7 games. The last couple games on the road, not so good. 0 and 1. Now, what about against Golden State this year? What has he done? Well, he's hit the over in 2 games against Golden State, the 2 most recent games, post-Dinwiddie trade games. Games prior to that, he only had 1 and 0 versus Golden State. So he hit 4 in the 2 most recent games against the Warriors, 1 being in Golden State, 1 being in Dallas. So Reggie Bullock over 2 3-point makes, I think could be a worthwhile look as well. So we're liking Dinwiddie for Dallas. Let's add Reggie Bullock to the list, possibly too. He's projected for 3 3-point makes at 2.5. He is a minus 155 betting favorite to go under. So yes, I prefer Reggie Bullock when he's playing at home more than I do on the road, but he's been pretty decent even on the road. So taking a look at some of your comments here. Steve Kerr saw what happened to the Suns at home. They're not getting them threes off. Better off going for rebounds. How much everybody going to be missing the threes? I see what you're saying. So Solo, you're saying take a rebound prop instead of a 3-point prop. All right. Porter over 0.5 3-point makes at home. He's got to make 1. Otto Porter Jr. Let's look at him. Throughout the playoffs, Otto Porter Jr. at 0.5 3-point makes. 40% hit rate. But I see what you guys are saying here. He is definitely shooting it a little bit better playing at home, right? So when we look at just the home games at 0.5 3-point makes, he is now 4 for 5 or 80% playing in Golden State. So if there was ever a time to take the over on Otto Porter Jr.'s 3-point make, it's going to be when he's playing at home. That seems like the prime opportunity for you to take the over on Otto Porter Jr. So if you want to take a stab at it, if you want to take a shot at it, tonight's probably the night, or game 2. One of these home games, he's probably going to knock down one 3-pointer. 80% hit rate throughout the playoffs so far. What about against Dallas this season? He's played Dallas a total of 3 times now. He's hit the over in 2 out of 3. And guess what? Both of the games that he hit the over were in Golden State. So he's actually 2 for 2 against Dallas at 0.5 3-point makes, playing at home, which is where he's going to be playing tonight. So yeah, you could take a shot on Otto Porter Jr. over 0.5 3-point makes. I don't have a projection apparently for him, but I mean, the hit rates look great when he plays at home. So Otto Porter Jr. over 0.5 threes. Lewis, I'm with it, man. Go for it. Go for it. Any of these other Golden State guys, I mean, when you see Steph Curry at 3.5 3-point makes playing at home, I mean, I think we have to always consider Steph Curry. We already talked about how high his hit rates are as far as his points in the playoffs at home. What about his 3-point field goals at home? So he's 3.5. At 3.5, he's 5 for 11 in the playoffs at home. 67% hit rate on the road in the playoffs. Just a 20% hit rate. So again, Curry, another one of these guys who in the playoffs seems to score better and shoot better when he's playing in front of the Golden State fans. So if you wanted to take the over on Curry at 3.5 3-point makes, wouldn't fault you for doing that. Curry's projected for 4.8 at 3.5 3-point makes. Betting favorite, minus 145 to go over. Oh yeah, by the way, against Dallas, hit rate's not great. 1 for 4 against the Mavs this season, 25%. So, all right, let's move on. Let's look at some free throw makes real quick. Luka Doncic sitting at 6 free throw makes. Kind of take a look at his little game logs real quick. He's hit 6 or more in 3 out of his last 5 games. One thing that you could do with Luka is you could go to StatMuse. And you can go Luka Doncic FTM logs versus Warriors. Include playoffs just in case, we're missing anything. But you can take a look and see what Luka's done from the free throw line against the Golden State Warriors. So he's hit 7, 11, 7, 10. So he's 4 out of his last 4 going over 6 free throw makes against the Warriors. 4 out of his last 5, we can call it. 80% hit rate in his last 5 games. If we want to go back a little bit further here, we can. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's hit 4 out of his last 5. So he's overall 80%. 8 out of his last 10, he's hit the over at 6 free throw makes. 4 out of his last 5, 8 out of his last 10 at hitting more than 6 free throw makes. So I think Luka Doncic for free throw makes probably a decent look. Curry at 5 free throw makes, 2 for 5. Moody, you've made it all about you, buddy. If you don't feel welcome, you got to look yourself in the mirror. You're the only one that did this to yourself. You're scared? I'm scared that you might have a gambling addiction or a gambling problem. I'm concerned for you. I don't know what you're scared of. I mean, we're just trying to give you the cold, hard truth that you need to hear. Going out bad, brother. It's not a good look. We're here to talk player props, not here to start a GoFundMe for Moody Clips. He's scared. We're terrified. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Other guys here, Jalen Brunson, 2 out of his last 5. Probably not going to go there. I'm going to stick with the stars. If I'm going to take any free throw props, I do like Luka with that 80% hit rate versus the Dubs in his last 5 and last 10 games. I think that one's a good look. Blocks and steals. Luka's usually pretty good about getting his hands on the basketball. You see what he's done in his last 5 games, recording 2 or more stocks. Those are steals and blocks. 5 straight games now, he's recorded 2 or more. So if you wanted to take a shot at that, you could definitely do that. Klay Thompson, he typically gets his hands on the ball too at 1.5 steals and blocks. 3 out of his last 5. Andrew Wiggins, pretty good defensively as well. He's now hit 2 or more stocks in 4 out of his last 5 games, and 80% hit rate at 2 or better. So I think your leading candidates would obviously be Luka Doncic and Andrew Wiggins. So let's get you projections on both of those guys. These things, steals and blocks, are hard to project at times, but we're going to do our best here using the tools that we have. I got Luka projected for exactly 2 stocks, so that doesn't really help us out much. I got Wiggins projected for 2.1, just slightly more than 2, but yeah, I think both of those guys are contenders for overs. Klay would probably be the third option. But yeah, Jessica, I'm liking Luka for 2 or more stocks as well. I think that's a good move. As far as block shots go, Maxi Kleber does have the tendency to block some shots. He's the only one we have up on the board. You can see what he's done in his last 5 games. If you wanted to go with Kleber, let me see if I can get you a projection on Maxi. He's projected for exactly 1. Again, some of these stats, blocks and steals, very hard to predict. Very volatile. So if you're going to take any of these, you probably want to put them in a flex entry. I wouldn't power play any of these. And you got Luka Doncic at 1.5 steals. He's recorded 2 or more steals in 5 straight games. For my money, I'd probably rather take the stocks, being that you could tie or push. But if you wanted to go just straight up steals, I mean, the 5 for 5 hit rate's looking pretty good for Luka. His projected steals tonight, 1.4. At 1.5, they're betting the under, minus 125. But those are your options there. And then turnovers is a new way. A new way to play props. Added fairly recently, the turnovers. A lot of people have been making some money on these. Your guys who are your like primary ball handlers, your Luka Doncic's, your Steph Curry's. Steph's got 3 or more turnovers in 3 out of his last 5 games. Draymond's been a real popular one that people have been taking the over on. Jeremiah's already on it. I see Jeremiah saying over on Draymond Green's 3 turnovers. I mean, you could see why. Draymond, the quarterback of the team, leading the team in potential assists, meaning he's got the ball in his hands probably more than any other Golden State Warrior player, which means there's tendencies for him to turn the ball over, right? Throw passes away, passes get stolen, etc. So Draymond Green over 3 turnovers. Probably my favorite one on the board. Darian saying he's liking Steph Curry to go over 3 turnovers. I don't have any projections for turnovers. Wish I did. But kind of like the blocks and steals, turnover projections are really, really, we'll say not accurate. Because anything could happen. But if you want to go turnovers, it's going to be Dre for me, number 1. Everybody else going to be in the mix, but Dre would be my favorite. That's pretty much it, man. We've talked about most of what we have here on the PrizePicks board. I hope this information helps some of you folks out there. Speaking of help, I hope Moody, that our little chat today has helped you. Congratulations, you have become the star of the show. Maybe unintentionally, maybe intentionally, maybe you needed the attention. I don't know. But I don't think anybody hates you, Moody Clips. I just think that it's not a good look, man. Not a good look to come in here asking people for money that you don't know. If you're really down that bad, you probably shouldn't be betting on sports for a while. Take some time off. Go back. Think about the situation, Anyway, Appreciate all of you guys. Drop a like on today's live stream if you haven't yet. We'll be back at it tomorrow talking game 2 between Boston and Miami. Maybe we can make some more sense of it. Maybe we'll have Horford and Smart back. But we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time, talking more NBA player props. Appreciate all of you. Good luck and good night.